Welcome back to The Rush. If you would like a forbidden tour of our city, guess what? You can do that with Will Woods. He is the founder of Forbidden Vancouver Walking Tours, and he's here to tell us all about it. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, Fiona. Very well.
So you are, you came to Vancouver about 7 years ago.
7 years
from
ago.
the UK.
That's right, yeah.
And you're the man telling everyone else about our city. How did this happen?
You know,
Sometimes it's someone with a different view that sees us differently.
Well said, Terry. I get that question every day. It's a very reasonable question.
Yep.
My usual response is, our city's first resident, Gassy Jack Dayton, was from Yorkshire, England, so
Yep.
I'm not the only one. And I love the city, I love its history, I love the people here, I love telling its stories. So
A lot of us taken for granted because we've lived with it. So it does take fresh eyes to point out, this is the spot, this is what happened, here's the story behind. You appreciate then everything that's around you from that point.
Totally, yeah, totally right. And it's got a great history, and you know, we heard about Stanley Park earlier, and I think there's maybe a bit of a point of view in the city that there is not too much history here. There's, you know, it's all picnics in Stanley Park, it's all been really nice stuff, and you know, we're a port town. A lot's gone on here over the years, and I thought what better than to have a way to bring that to life for people, to share that with
Did you look at Gastown first? Because there's a lot of history there.
There is a lot of history, yeah.
And you can go there, but Granville had a little more glitz and glamour.
We already have a Gastown tour running, the Lost Souls of Gastown, about the city's earliest days when there was a smallpox outbreak, we had the Great Fire, some unsolved murders down there when there wasn't really a very effective police force. And so we've got a tour down there, the Lost Souls of Gastown. The Granville Street Reveal is our latest tour, and that's just launched a couple of weeks ago, all about our city's entertainment history.
Do you talk about the neon?
Talk about the neon, yeah. We go.
It was there.
We take people back in time. We walk down Theatre Row, and here was the Capitol was here. You know, some of the buildings are still left, the Orpheum, the Vogue, and.
Well, let's talk about some of those buildings. We've got some photos of it. The Vancouver Opera House. Now, this photo is from 1903.
That's right, 1903. Looking at a production of King Dodo in 1903. And you know, back then there was no Facebook, no TV, no radio.
No one was Instagramming this.
It was obviously the hit of the year.
That was where you went for entertainment. You can see at the bottom there, it's 1590 attendance, capacity 1,200, standing room only.
Wow.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Yeah. Now, the Commodore Ballroom, a lot of people forget. You know, it was dark for a while. It has a really rich history of entertainment.
It does have a rich history. You can see here, this is the early 30s. And of course, we had some strict liquor laws then. So all the people here, they're either not drinking or they're drinking illegally, smuggling their Mickeys in.
In teacups and things.
Exactly right, yeah. And it was built, of course, by the Rifle family, who were notorious rum runners, smuggling liquor down to the US.
And what about, we've got a photo of a burlesque dancer here. Who is this?
Sally Rand, with her famous Dance of the Fan. Performed here many times. She performed at the Penthouse. This dance with the fan, it got her arrested 4 times in one day for public indecency in Chicago. Chicago World Fair, 1933.
Really?
She performed that dance here many times, yeah.
There's still lots of Theatre Row left, it just looks different now.
That's right, yeah, there's a lot of history left. I think we're very lucky to have some of these buildings that have been preserved. Orpheum, the fantastic Art Deco masterpiece, the Vogue, still standing today, the Commodore itself.
Well, let's look at another. This is the Theatre Row, Granville.
Right, this is it, Theatre Row in its heyday, the early 50s. You can see the rain-swept street there. And
look at the cars.
Are those train tracks?
Yeah, streetcars up and down the street, yeah.
And we have a photo of the same strip. Let's have a look.
Right, so this is a painting, actually, by an artist called Tom Carter, a local artist, and the original of this is 5 feet high, this painting.
Beautiful.
It just brings to life the richness of the time. I think it's a beautiful, beautiful painting.
One of the people as closely associated with Granville is Ivan Ackery.
Right,
who ran the Orpheum, right?
Yeah.
He was very powerful.
You know, you read his book, it sounds like he was more popular than the mayor of this town. It was incredible. Here he is with Marilyn Monroe. He was friends with Presley and Elizabeth Taylor. He'd have huge stunts. He'd give away diamond rings on stage. He'd have hundreds of people in the theatre.
So where was that photo taken? Was that photo taken in Vancouver?
That was actually YVR at the airport when she came in, to promote Gentlemen Prefer Blondes. And he met her there. Never missed an opportunity for some publicity.
You've been to the Penthouse, right?
I have.
penthouse.
It's
Still
talk
there.
about a building rich with history.
Remarkable. I had a quote recently for a woman named Maida Price, and she said, "The penthouse is the history of Vancouver, crammed into that little old building on Seymour, like a stripper into a bustier." I thought, you know, that's exactly right. Everything's happened there, going back to the 30s on, really. They've run buildings from that site from a long time, the Filipponi family.
And it seems like people are starting to really understand that history, mostly because of the book by Aaron
right. Because you
Chapman.
had Danny and Aaron here, right?
Yes, that we're talking about it. But tell us a little bit, if you can, about why the penthouse is such an epicenter of history.
Well, you know, you go back to the 40s and 50s, and this was like Vegas North up here. And this was the first stop on a kind of show business superhighway that went through Seattle and Reno and San Francisco and Vegas. A lot of different acts like to start their tours here to showcase new material.
The Cave Supper Club.
The Cave, right.
All those Motown acts
Panama,
worked out their stuff here.
Exactly right. And the penthouse was the place to party. So all these guys would do their shows, go to the penthouse afterwards. So you go up there now, say, oh, you know, Sammy Davis Jr., he slept on that sofa. Frank Sinatra played that piano. It's incredible. It's so well preserved up there. Really amazing.
It's funny how we never think that people like that ever came to Vancouver.
Right, yeah.
But now that we're learning about it, that it's huge. And people can do tours of the penthouse itself.
Right. So the Granville Street Reveal, we go into the penthouse, we go into some of those spaces that are closed to the public.
What about Granville Street after the war? Everything changed, started to change, well, all over the world, but Vancouver in particular.
Now that's the penthouse there.
Right, yeah, so we're unveiling our world-famous penthouse wall of sin here, where it's the history of burlesque to striptease, 1913 to 2013.
And going to what Mulligan was just talking about, post-war Granville Street. Tell us about this one.
So, you know, you look at certainly the 30s, the 40s, into the 50s, it was Theatre Row. People flooded in from all around. Things started to change a bit in the 60s with television was the main form of entertainment. Numbers started dwindling, multiplexes came along, people stopped coming into Granville Street for the movies every week.
Well, now Granville Street has become a completely different beast.
Right, it has, yeah, it has. But I think I think that's fascinating. You know, it's packed full of nightclubs and bars now. Wouldn't it be surprised in 50 years there'll be someone saying there'd be 100,000 people a week would come down here to go to the nightclubs and bars on a Saturday night. It was 100 deep on the street. Whatever the number is.
It'll be a green belt by that point.
You never know.
How about the stars on the side?
Right, yeah.
Do you go and
we talk about a few of those. Yeah, actually, some of the guys with stars down there helped us with researching the tour. Norman Young, we met with and gave us some great little facts about his time at the Orpheum and some of the people that he worked with over the years. He's got his Star of Fame there on the ground. Some big names there: Michael Bublé, Sarah McLachlan,
And
Bryan
Terry David
Adams.
Mulligan. Did you go look at your store?
No, but somebody sent me a shot of it the other day.
You've never been? You don't go
Well, they
polish
moved
it up?
It was out front of the Commodore, and it got moved when they redid the sidewalk. I don't know where it is. I think it's right there.
Well, we'll have to go on a little search and destroy
It's
mission.
kind of freaky to stand there. And,
I know, and gaze at yourself.
I'm still here.
He's still here. Who does your tour? Who comes on the tours? Is it mostly tourists, or are there a lot of people from the city who go?
It's about a 50-50 split, tourists and locals, yeah. We get a lot of locals bringing their guests from out of town.
Of course.
Come along. I'm going to see a bit of Vancouver, come along. The locals enjoy it, the guests get to see something different.
Do you end up at a pub?
Well, we end up at the penthouse. I guess that kind of counts.
Kind of.
Yeah, we sometimes finish at or near a bar. Yeah.
So Gastown is included. You have a
separate Gastown tour. Yeah, we also have a tour about Prohibition City, all about our Prohibition era, 1910s and 20s. Yeah.
Is there any other part of town you're kind of interested in? Actually, you would think that maybe the stories behind Chinatown would be interesting.
Chinatown would be very interesting. We've got a Chinatown tour in the works. I think it'd be a very interesting place.
Sun Yat-sen Gardens, you know.
Absolutely, yeah.
Wow.
Well, we look forward to it.
It's our town.
It is our town. You always go find out the history of other cities. If you want to find, bring your friends or family from wherever they are in the world, or go yourself, you can go to the Granville Street Reveal tour. It's happening all summer long on Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. For more information on this one and the other walking tours we were talking about, you can go to forbiddenvancouver.ca. We're going to take a quick break.